Okay. Let's bring the music down. Pause any videos that might be playing in the background. Okay. So, welcome guys to this week's Tuesday live stream. So, I quickly want to go over just the markets and try to really give you guys a deeper understanding of how to trust this potential reversal back to the upside, right? So should we trust this bounce, or how long does this bounce stay for, right? I mean, if you guys have read the title of this video, this live stream, you guys should know what we're about to talk about. So, and make sure you guys are always reading the description box as well. Okay, I have a lot of good information there and a lot of good links to look at as well. So make sure you guys take a look at that. Welcome guys, welcome. Seems like people are coming in now. Welcome. All right. Oh, 5 likes. 5 likes before we even began. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Awesome to see that. Awesome. All right. Well, so let's begin with the market. So first of all, I want to give you guys a little sneak peek in the private CFO Discord as to what I personally sent to my members last night. So here is the private CFO Discord channel, and this is exactly what I said. So yesterday at 10:38 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I said SPY has a target area towards $505 to $506 by at least end of the month, or at the minimum. And QQQ has a target area towards $427 through $430 by at least end of month. Now, today, we actually got the targets hitting for the S&P 500. So if you guys look closely right here, I gave you guys specifically, first of all, this huge demand area from 490.50 through 498.50, a very nice 8-point range here, right? It's a very large range, but this is a new area of demand, and we quickly shifted away after we reached the midpoint between this 490.50 to 498.50 demand area. And we got a very good reversal for the past 2 days, including today. And I was really surprised to see a lot of good overall breadth just uplifting the market, right? We saw a lot of sold off names, including lagging names, and just the overall leaders coming back alive today. And we saw a bunch of overall sectors and groups moving in tandem to the upside, which allowed the markets to consistently stay strong throughout the entirety of this day. And I love how we closed at highs as well. So specifically, SPY hit my relative targets that I've given to my members last night, $505 to $506. And hey, 6 likes. Thank you guys, thank you. So that's a little sneak peek from the private CFO Discord. However, do we have more upside left? So that is the major question that I have that needs to be answered, right? So there are some clues now. So there are some clues to help us understand whether or not we will be seeing a potential continuation of this pivot back to the upside. So first of all, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, what can we expect? Right? What can we expect? So today, first of all, we closed at the daily 10 SMA. In fact, we have actually retested it today for the first time after we dropped to the downside, and we have officially closed over the daily 10 SMA by a few cents. Now, based on my experience with the daily 10 or the daily 21 SMAs, which are my short-term momentum SMA pairs, we tend to get a pretty good rejection at the initial retest of the daily 10 or the daily 21 SMAs because they act as areas of SMA resistance. So now we have earnings, right? We have earnings this week. We have a bunch of mega cap, leading, tech stocks that are having earnings, and so that will definitely move the S&P 500, right? Because some of these mega cap stocks have a lot of weight in the S&P 500 ETF. So they will definitely move the market. Now, just disregarding the earnings, right? Just let's completely forget about the earnings and just focus on the technicals. So when we're focusing on the technicals here, I would expect to see a rejection tomorrow. However, there's still a slight possibility of us gapping up and then moving back down to retest at the daily 10 SMA again, to see whether or not it can act as a new area of support, right? Area of SMA support. Now, why would they do this? Why would the price do this? Well, because first of all, we have officially closed over the daily 10 for the first time after losing it. And we have retested it as an area of resistance. That's what we saw today, as we kind of ranged between the 506 high of the day today, all the way back down to around 504, right? So now, if we are able to come back down tomorrow and retest at the daily 10 SMA, and we hold it as an area of new support, new SMA support, then we are beelining it straight upwards towards this daily 21 SMA. Now, the daily 21 is still a few, well, it's not too far. It's not too far visually, but based on, numbers wise, it's still a bit away, right, from the closing price. So percentage wise, right, we're about 1.40% away, right? 1.40%. So that still requires a large move, and so far we have moved from the current lows. Okay, oops, I'm sure click the right thing there. Okay, so we have moved over 2% from last Friday's lows. And so, this is a pretty good reversal. It's a pretty good oversold bounce specifically. And I wouldn't expect to see much more because, now here's the second reason that we can, here's the first reason why we probably don't see a continuation to the upside. Well, the volume. Right, the volume is pretty low, and so this is what we will call a dead cat bounce, and usually dead cat bounces are also considered oversold bounces. So as a quick summary, okay, so the only thing that we need to see tomorrow that will definitely confirm that we are headed back to the upside is that we need to retest the daily 10 SMA as a new area of SMA support, and then we close over it tomorrow, and we confidently continue to move to the upside on Thursday and then on Friday. But again, when we bring in the potential catalysts, which are earnings this week, that's kind of hard to say. So for now, from a technical perspective, as I'm, basically combining and amalgamating all the technical indications that I can see and use, well, the volume, right? The volume starts coming into this perspective that we can potentially go up higher, and it kind of ruins that perspective, right? Because again, even if we take out earnings, right, we have to take a look at volume. And volume is kind of dismal here. Volume has been a lot lower than the average daily volume compared to, these sell-off days. All right, even during this entire sell-off, most of the days, I would say just between, let me pick out my marker. Just between these trading days, we've had 4 trading days out of the 6 red bearish candlesticks over the daily average volume. So to me, that simply tells me that this is a dead cat bounce, a very low volume oversold bounce. We just needed this reversal to the upside so that we can reset the more mid to long term shorts. So that is my personal view, because again, I told you guys last week, I will still be long-term bearish, right? So specifically for most of quarter two, and for all my members, I've told you guys when I would expect to see an official market pivot or bounce that can lead us back to the upside and back to all-time highs. So make sure you guys go back to the trade room in the CFO Discord. Now, so that's the reason why I am most likely being a bit more mid to long-term bearish, because of the fact that we have such volume. Because I mean, we can't just forget about this, right? We've had 6 consecutive back-to-back red bearish trading days with volume. So it's not like the volume is just going to disappear based on this very low volume oversold dead cat bounce. And so even if we do decide to gap up tomorrow, maybe thanks to Tesla's earnings, right? Tesla's earnings, which actually had a pretty bad report numbers wise, but overall Elon Musk himself sounded pretty confident, his tone. And investors obviously liked, that type of tone. It's just like how the market reacts to Jerome Powell when he speaks for, his FOMC news conferences. But, the earnings call was pretty upbeat, I would say. I listened in here and there, but overall the numbers weren't too good. I mean, it was a double miss, not a double beat. That could have, obviously if you had a double beat, that would officially confirm the reaction that we saw on Tesla. I think Tesla closed over 10% after hours, so that's a pretty big move. So, if we do get a gap up tomorrow, the only thing that I need to see is a retest of the daily 10 SMA as a new area of SMA support, and then at the close, I would want to see a close over this daily 10 SMA, officially confirming the price retaking this daily 10 SMA, because that gives the price a chance, and for the bulls a chance to get back over, hit this next major level of resistance, 509.80. And if you guys remember this level, 509.80, or if you just want to round up to the next whole number, 510, this will become our next area or level of huge resistance. And at the same time, if we do start to see the price going up higher and higher towards this 510 or 509.80 specific level, we should be also seeing this daily 50 SMA continuously flatlining and potentially even curling lower. And now, first of all, this daily 50 SMA has been flatlining just exactly as I've drawn it back in last Tuesday's live stream. All right, so let me actually just bring it back here. All right, so it's literally quite almost to a T following my drawing here. So I would want to see, if we do see a retest of this daily 50 SMA, immediately getting rejected, right? So, right, so that we can continue to move to the downside. So I'm off with a bounce. I've profited really well off of Nasdaq's bounce this week, and last week, I was positioning myself to become long, but ultimately I got pushed out, right? But this week has been a blessing so far. So, I think at some point I will be looking for, again, just tomorrow, based on how earnings go as well. Now I have to really just bring back earnings here on my analysis. So again, I'm bearish, but we have earnings. That's the reality. And I don't know what could happen with the markets, because we have a bunch of mega cap stocks reporting, which will affect the S&P 500's price action and sentiment. Most importantly, the sentiment after the earnings report is done. So, I think, again, overall earnings report will be great, but I want to see how the actual markets move, because again, remember, the past 6 consecutive trading days that we saw here, right, that was very bearish and very much to the downside. We saw selling volume that was over the daily average volume, right? We saw 4 specific trading days that were over the average daily volume. And so we have just an injection of bigger volume. And we've basically been seeing that since, I believe, since February, late February. So we actually saw an uptick in the average daily volume, and it's still increasing, which means that there's a lot more activity, right? A lot more volatility as well. So, for SPY here, I think that even if we do see a bounce, we will definitely have to use the daily 50 as an area of rejection, which means we could still be seeing, an upside move back towards, at the minimum, this 509.80 or 510 resistance level. And again, remember, this 510 level was a huge area or level of support back in early to mid-March. So, that will be my next target, or just simply the daily 50 SMA retest. But again, you guys have to watch out for that tomorrow. Whether or not we retest the daily 10 SMA as a new area of SMA support, and whether or not we decide to close over the daily 10 SMA. All right, so that is how I am looking to validate this bounce, right? Whether or not this bounce is actually real. But again, the volume is dismal. It's a dead cat bounce so far. That's how I'm identifying it, and I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of others are identifying it as well. An oversold bounce. I haven't mentioned it last week as well. So since we've got this oversold bounce, all we need to do now is look for signs that will validate this current bounce. But so far, it's not looking too good. Just based on volume, and volume is important because again, it's directly correlated to the price, right? And so far, we've had a great bullish run back to the upside, back to back, but volume is not really showing that, right? I would have expected, especially today, a bigger volume than yesterday, but we didn't get that, right? Even if we had a pretty, wide range, we dipped below 500 early in the morning, and then we hit our maximum target of $506 that I told my members last night, right? So SPY 505 to 506, and QQQ or NASDAQ 427 to 430. So, I am keeping a pretty close look at all the indices this week because again, we have earnings, but I am being very, very cautious and suspicious on this run up. All right, so that is my personal outlook based on my technical analysis, and basically that's how I'm going to determine whether or not this bounce is valid. All right. Does anyone have any questions for me? Whew, my throat is dry tonight. Make sure you guys are drinking your water, right? Hydrate yourself. Oh, 7 likes. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, welcome. What's up? And thank you guys so much for 7 likes. Can we get to 10 likes? Can we get to 10 likes tonight? So for the people who are just joining in, let me just give you guys a quick summary. Okay, for the people who are just joining in, quick summary, and then I'll move on to my 2 high quality swing trade ideas that I want to share with you guys. So bear with me, stick to the end here, okay? So for SPY tomorrow, a quick summary. What I want to see, first of all, is whether or not the bulls are going to be, strong enough to officially reclaim this daily 10 SMA. Because again, we closed over it. That's a great sign. However, it's on low volume, even lower volume compared to yesterday's bounce. And so tomorrow, I want to see whether or not we gap up, gap down, whatever it is. I want the price to be able to come back down. If we do gap up, retest the daily 10 as a new area of SMA support, okay? And then close over the daily 10 SMA, because that will truly tell me that yes, the price wants to move up higher and potentially retest this next level of resistance, a huge area of supply at 510. Because again, when we lost this 510 level, which also coincided with the daily 50 SMA, if you guys remember, back in, last Monday, we saw a huge amount of selling coming in, right? So this is a huge area of supply. And so that will tell me whether or not the price wants to get back to this 510 level and to the daily 50 SMA as a retest, okay? Now, I'm being skeptical of this because the volume, right? The volume is very, very dismal for such a large bounce that we saw yesterday, a very nice gap up yesterday, and a big bounce to the upside. And even today, where we had a huge range where we dipped below 500 and we hit our maximum target to 506. So just watch out tomorrow. If we do open up slightly below the daily 10 SMA, which currently closed at $505.16, then you guys should watch out for potential early morning rejection to the downside, or basically just a big drive to the downside. Okay. Hey, welcome guys. Ooh, 9 likes. Let's get to 10. Let's get to 10. Okay, so hey Sparky, what's up? Mara has been nice to me lately. BTC I've been watching. Yeah, so Bitcoin has also been experiencing that bounce, and people have been surprised that we haven't seen any type of a sell-off event on BTC, especially after that halving event on April 19th. So that's pretty interesting to see as well, personally for me. So I'm gonna continue to watch out for Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, the Bitcoin related names have been absolutely exploding thanks to the overall market bounce, and for Bitcoin holding so relatively strong compared to the overall equity markets as well. All right, so that's kind of the quick review on what I discussed earlier for anyone who had just joined in. But now, let me talk about the 2 high quality swing trade ideas that you guys can potentially profit off of this week, or maybe in the next following weeks. Who knows? So first of all is EOG. So I talked about this last week as well. All right, I talked about the fact that, you know, EOG should be taken seriously here on this first retest of this daily 21 SMA after breaking out immensely back in early March. Now, the only reason why I'm looking at EOG is that it looks really similar to VLO, right? And VLO was my 210% swing trade. It's still one of my greatest swing trades so far this year. And I mean, this one was pretty amazing. I mean, I can't lie. But I wish I had stuck to it and just let the position just run up into all-time highs. But hey, I can't complain about 210%. But for a name like this, an oil refinery name, okay, VLO, EOG has been kind of lagging here, right? I mean, it also made a similar large macro base, specifically a large ascending triangle here, or a huge flag on the weekly time frame. If you guys want to go out more, you can go on the monthly, right? So, well, even the monthly looks even better. So, I think that we can at the minimum see another push to the upside, a rather ludicrous push back to the upside. Oh, well, continuously moving to the upside until we hit this all-time high level of 148. And so EOG is definitely something that you guys should be watching out for, because again, this could provide us with a very sneaky buyback where the price is kind of teasing us that, hey, we can be falling down here, or we can be reversing back to the upside. And so far, we don't know for sure yet. Yes, today we retested the daily 21 SMA for the 5th time, or actually the 6th time, including today. And then we closed over the daily 10 SMA after failing the past 2 times here. So tomorrow, we can see a potential breakout over 136.35, and this is the level that I gave you guys the first time I discussed this ticker or potential swing trade idea. So make sure you guys watch this. All right, so EOG, definitely look for a potential sneaky buyback this week as crude oil and just overall commodities start to kind of consolidate and potentially continue to move to the upside. Because again, we got a nice flush in crude oil or any type of oil related names like oil refineries like EOG and VLO here last week, and potentially this week we can be seeing a potential push back up and a continuation back to the upside as literally the buyers lose interest, right? Because sometimes whenever we see a huge breakout and then a sudden pause, that pushes out a lot of the quote-unquote weak buyers. That's essentially what happened to me with VLO. I didn't really stick to my gut and let it just ride, right? And so this might be the opportunity to for the markets or for the specific prices on EOG or even VLO, for example, to continuously move to the upside and just forget about the weak buyers who were pushed out last week by this sudden drag back to the downside, and see a very sneaky buyback for us, especially for people who haven't basically gone in during this entire run up on EOG. So I will be debating whether or not I will be choosing EOG or VLO, but EOG is something that you guys should be watching this week. All right. Okay, so I believe I talked about this a lot last time. So let me go on to the second and last high quality swing trade idea. All right. So we have SU, Suncor Energy. Now this one I believe is specifically another, there you go, oil name. Okay. And the daily is not really showing you anything. I have to show you guys this on the monthly. Okay. So look how amazing this monthly chart pattern is. Okay. So what's really amazing about SU here is that this thing has been consolidating since the great financial crash. Okay. I have never seen such a great looking and potentially, well, not even potentially, it is a laggard ticker, and it's really looking like it's about to have a huge breakout out of this decades-long base. All right, I mean this thing goes back to 2008, right? So I mean it's 4 more years, I think. Oh no, not even 4 more years. But I mean this is over a decade, right? Over a decade's worth of consolidation. I mean that's huge, right? So I was pleasantly surprised when I found this ticker today, and it's another, yet again, a oil related name. And so, you know, I think, well, let me just get into the technical analysis here. So since I am bullish on oil related names, okay, SU can potentially become another one of these high quality trades that moves up and heads towards its previous all-time high areas, right? Or at the very minimum, back to its previous 52-week highs. So now that we've seen this huge consolidation that's worth, you know, that goes back more than, what, 10 years ago, okay? Let's focus on just our current price action. Okay, so let me do the technical analysis live. So what I'm seeing here, let me just draw it really, really quickly. Okay, so we have a very, very nice macro wedge, because again, as a reminder, we are on the monthly time frame, and so we just broke out from this macro wedge that's over a year old. Okay, and not just to forget about, and well, you guys shouldn't be forgetting about this huge consolidation in the past 12 years, okay, or over 12 years actually, not even just 10. So you know, it seems like the price is finally getting some action, especially after 2020. We've seen a huge increase in volume and the average monthly volume as well. Yes, it's falling back down, but the price is still acting in a very bullish way because, well, due to a lot of factors. Number one, you know, demand and supply, and obviously all the geopolitical tension that's, you know, causing crude oil to be just absolutely skyrocketing these days, right? And we can feel it as consumers. We can feel that, right? We can feel that at the gas pump. So, you know, Suncor Energy here, it seems like it wants to follow with the rest of its, you know, crude oil related group, and it has broken out immensely to the upside early March as well. It seems like every single oil related name at the beginning of March just absolutely skyrocketed. And so, do I expect this trend to continue? Of course, right? Because we are nearing the end of April here soon, and April has been a pretty good month so far, as well as it continued this march up higher from March. So, you know, at the minimum, on the monthly time frame, I would expect another third green monthly candlestick that revisits the previous pivot high point. Okay, at 42, I believe this is the oh, I didn't mean to do that, guys. There we go. So I believe this is the previous 52-week highs here. So let me just give it a quick, trying to make it as accurately as possible here. There we go. All right. So this is the 10 likes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So 42, right? 42 is a huge level of resistance. And if you guys go all the way back, all right, this is a level of resistance that we have been forming since 2006. I mean, this is a massive base. Right? It's a massive base. I can't not talk about this huge base on the monthly time frame. So this looks like a literal gold mine for us if this one breaks out. So at the minimum, next month of May, I would expect to, well, yeah, or not just I would expect, I can almost guarantee that this one can continue to move to the upside and hit 42 again, right? And I believe the 52-week highs were, should be telling you here. Oh, I guess they removed it here. That sucks. Guess people didn't like that on TradingView here. Anyways, so at the minimum, we should be seeing a retest of 42. All right, so SU is another great looking potential swing trade that we should be looking out for, especially if oil-related names continue to see, just a constant rise in price per barrel, crude oil specifically, due to supply and demand and the geopolitical tensions. So first of all, the demand and supply factor, we've had OPEC plus countries continuously shaving production, right? So that means less supply, and that's not good, right? And so that's hurting, well, quote unquote hurting crude oil, even though prices are going up. So it's essentially hurting us as consumers. But geopolitical tensions are also not helping as well. It's adding to the fire that is higher gas and oil prices. Okay, so now with that, I believe SU can provide us with a very good entry point. I might even just go in tomorrow, because this looks like a pretty good move back to the upside. And I love the fact that we have started to make, we did start to make today, this level here on the daily time frame. So $39.35-ish cents. And we retested it today and yesterday, and we continue to stay underneath it. So once we're able to break over this 39.35 resistance level on the daily time frame, I would expect to see it's basically shooting straight upwards towards 42. And we are also heading towards its earnings report on May 6th. Okay, so about May 6th. I don't think, or I guess they didn't confirm the date yet. But, SU here should be very interesting for, at the minimum, into the end of this month and into the next month, which is May. So before I finish off here, let me give you guys a quick view on which option contracts that I want to look at for SU. So I want to look at September. Now, the reason why I want to look at September is that, first of all, number one, we have time. And if crude oil continues to move up, and again, not just from demand and supply worries, and also, well, basically, specifically, supply squeezes, and the increasing conflict in the Middle East. If that conflict spreads, okay, not only those two, but if inflation worries come back in, if the Federal Reserve continues to be a bit more cautious and potentially not even being confident anymore about their 2% target, then that will definitely cause a lot of scare, and people will start piling into, like right now, that like they've been into these commodities and precious metals and specifically crude oil. So I want to go all the way out into September and look at this specific contract. Okay, so the 40 strike call contract that expires on September 20th. Okay, and we aren't really far away from 40 here, right? And so if we're able to reach 40 and potentially continuously move to the upside, making higher highs and higher lows over 40, all the up into 42, then this one will be very much deep in the money. Now, if you guys don't want to be going all the way out into September, okay, I'm also looking at this contract here, June 21st, this year, June 21st, for the expiration date. I am looking at the 39 strike call contracts. So these are already in the money based on how we closed today at $39.15. So this one is a little bit cheaper, right? It's $1.72 per contract, or $172 per contract. And since they are already in the money or nearly at the money, it should provide you with, at the minimum, some protection, right, from data and time decay. Because again, we are out all the up into June. So, and at the very same time, we've chosen a currently in the money but almost at the money contract as well. So these two contracts are what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow for a potential starter entry point for my starter position. And if we do see another pullback below 39.35 or a potential rejection or a potential move back down, if we do see a little tiny pop over it and then we come back down below it, then I will start adding somewhere around 38 bucks if we do come back down to 38. Okay, so again, I will wait until we see an official move over 39.35 before I make my official execution on those specific contracts. So if you guys are if any of you guys are just public members and are not the private CFO Swinger Watch readers and a part of the private CFO Discord, and if you guys want to know which specific contracts that I get, make sure you guys DM me at ChartsFocus1 on Instagram, and I will give you guys a 50% discount for the very first month. All right, so make sure you guys DM me if you guys want that opportunity. So SU, EOG are the two high quality swing trade ideas that I really want you guys to focus in on and just hone in on how they are moving every single day, because they can potentially provide you guys with a very, very good return in the next couple of weeks and even into the next couple of months, like SU here. All right, SU looks really amazing, again, on the higher time frames, HTFs. Okay, SU, huge consolidation. I can't really stress it enough. I mean, you guys can look at it with your own eyes. This is an amazing base here, right? Over a decade's worth of just simple sideways. And at some point, this company will need to see a growth, an actual growth in their share price instead of just for years. I hope that silence, that little tiny silence, that moment of silence filled in within your guys' head. Alright. So, yeah, I mean, that's it for me tonight, guys. Thank you guys again for 10 likes. That's amazing. We've actually hit that threshold that I'm always aiming for, and we have actually achieved that tonight. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to click that like button. But yeah, I mean, those are my two swing trade ideas that I wanted to give to you guys. Let me know if you guys do decide to get in, whether or not it's SU, EOG, or even both, or maybe even VLO, because I mentioned it again tonight. But yeah, just make sure you guys have your stop losses as well, depending on your risk tolerance, depending on how much you have put into the trade itself, and etc. Okay? Alright, so good luck tomorrow, guys. Hopefully you guys are able to use my own type of analysis and discretion to really just determine whether or not this current market bounce is valid. And hopefully you guys can apply it really well for the rest of this week, as we also have a lot of earnings, and especially the mega cap tech earnings reports. Okay? All right, I will see you guys on Thursday at the same time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But again, I am not having that 15-minute grace period, so I will be starting Thursday's live stream exactly at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Oh, at the end here, we got 11 likes. Yo, let's go, let's go. Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys. This really helps out with the algorithm, guys. It really helps people, people who are subscribed to the channel to really YouTube lets them know that I have uploaded a video or I am live. So, but if you guys really want to know directly whether or not I am live, okay, make sure you guys hit that notification bell once you guys hit subscribe, or you guys should be subscribed already, so that you guys can see that notification icon right below. All right. Have a great rest of your night, guys. I will see you guys on Thursday, and good luck tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching.